Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. It's that time I'm going to do some NFL picks and predictions. So week 12 is officially in the books. We went, I think, 11-3 this past week. We had a really good week. The big question, can we keep that momentum going? That's the goal here, especially when it comes to those money lines. We're going to look at all of our week 13 NFL games you have coming up. We're going to try to predict the winners and losers on every single game and also try to predict the exact score down to the T. And of course, we're going to take a look at our best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. But before we get started, look down there, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win these games? What's your favorite matchup? We're getting to the end of the season. Season has flown by. These games are starting to mean a whole lot more right now. Teams are fighting for playoff contention. We have some really good football. So let's just jump right into it.
And our very first game is actually one of our Thanksgiving Day games. This coming Thursday, November 27th, 1 p.m. on Fox, the 7-3-1 Green Bay Packers coming off that rebound win on the road versus the 7-4 Detroit Lions. The Lions still have a top 5 overall offense in baseball. The defense is kind of starting to falter around, just like last season. They had the number 1 offense last year, but the defense was a weak point. The Lions got the win this past week, but it wasn't the best win. They've been giving up way too many points. The wins have been a little too close. They need to pull away here, gain some momentum down the stretch. The Lions, 54.8% chance to win. The Packers, 44.9%. There's no love lost between these two teams. Detroit's 3-point favorites, 49.5 over-under. When you're looking at these two teams, obviously the Packers. Jordan Love has to carry this team down the stretch. Jacobs has been out. You have Love here, 15 touchdowns, 3 picks. His primary target's going to be Dobbs. On the other side, the Lions, one of the most stacked offensive rosters, top to bottom in the NFL. Goff, 21 touchdowns, 4 picks. Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown. Laporta's been banged up, but Laporta, with this overall offensive roster, they can shoot it out with anyone. They just have to get a couple stops on the defensive side. The team stats here, Packers 23.9 points a game, throwing for 223, running for 117, giving up 18.2 points a game. That's a top 7 defense in the NFL. They can bring the defense with them on the road. Lions 29.6 points a game. Really good offense still. Throwing for 239, running for 140. They can move the ball multiple ways, giving up 22.1 points a game. This is a game that's going to be very close in my opinion, but I do think the Lions pull it off. They win it 28-26. And our second Thanksgiving Day game, 4:30 p.m. on CBS, the 6-5 Kansas City Chiefs. Not the best season, not the season they wanted to have so far, but coming off of a strong win this past weekend. They need to build some momentum. They are a veteran team, a little older, but as long as you have Patrick Mahomes and as long as you have Jones, that defense, Patrick Mahomes, you have a shot to win any of these games. They're on the road versus team pulling off the upset win versus the defending Super Bowl champs, the 5-1 Dallas Cowboys. They'd love to get above 500 here. Dallas at Jerry World. 35.6% chance to win. The Chiefs, 64.1%. KC on the road. 3.5-point favorites, 52.5 over-under. Obviously, this Chiefs team I've been pretty critical of their rushing attack. Kunt is leading the way, 353 yards on the ground. That's not going to cut it down the stretch. Patrick Mahomes, also over 300 yards rushing. That's not a good stat to me. The rest of this team overall really has to step up. But Patrick Mahomes is having a really good passing season, closing in on 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 picks. Travis Kelce, Brown, Worthy. The wide receiver core overall also has to step up. They don't have a true wide receiver number 1, but what they do have is an elite veteran defense, more particularly that defensive front 7. They get after it. They create havoc in the backfield, but Dallas can score with anyone. Unfortunately for them, they give up a buttload of points. Dak Prescott, 21 touchdowns, 6 picks. What separates this team from last year's team, Williams closing in on 900 on the ground. They could not run the ball last year. That's not a problem for them here. And they have Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, 2 1,000-yard caliber receivers. Might be the best 1-2 wide receiver combo in the NFL. Looking at team stats, Chiefs, 25.2 points a game, throwing for 258, running for 118, only giving up 18.3 points a game. Like I said, what stands out is that front 7. Dallas, 29.1 points a game, throwing for 267, running for 121, but they're giving up 28.5 points a game. No matter who you are, you can move the ball on this Dallas defense. But I do think Dallas coming off that win versus the Eagles, that's a tough team. That's the defending champs. Give me Dallas winning at home, 27-24. And on NBC at 8:05 p.m. on Thursday, our final Thanksgiving game, we're going to have the Cincinnati Bengals 3-8. Joe Burrow should be coming back at some point. Flacco's been holding things down from here. But the defense is dead last in the NFL. This is the worst statistical overall defense there is in the NFL. The only way for them to win any type of game is in a complete shootout. That's where you need Joe Burrow back. Might be back this game, might not be back this game. I hate the unknowns. It's hard to pick games when you don't know who's going to be under center. But let's say it like it is. Flacco's actually been having a pretty good season so far, filling in. The guy's like 65 years old. He still has the arm. He can push the ball vertically down the field. Chase has been suspended. They have Higgins. They have a good offensive roster on the road. First, one of the best offensive rosters in the NFL, the 6-5 Baltimore Ravens, getting a win this past weekend, finally got them back over 500. Since Lamar Jackson's come back from injury, this has been a completely different team. They can throw it, they can run it. The defense has actually been playing really good. Baltimore, 79.2% chance to win. The Bengals, a 20.8% chance. Ravens are 7-point favorites, 51.5 over-under. They have Jackson. Jackson's one of the best field generals in the NFL. He can throw it, he can run, he can throw for 4,500 yards. He can run for 1,000 yards. They have Henry, Andrews, Likely, Flowers, weapons up and down this field. Look at team stats. Bengals 22.5 points a game, throwing for 222, running for 85, only rushing for 85. That's not going to cut it right now. And they're giving up 32.7 points a game, 260 through the air. This secondary has a lot of holes, and they're also giving up 156 on the ground, so you can throw on them, you can run on them, and the Ravens have one of the most balanced attacks in the NFL. They're averaging 25 points a game, throwing for 177, running for 138, giving up 23.7 points a game, which that's not the best. But when they didn't have Lamar Jackson, that was hovering around 30. So you see how him getting first downs and getting the defense off the field has really made this team a more better, complete team. Ravens win this one at home, 28-17. And moving on to our Friday slate, Friday, November 28th, 3 p.m., CBS, the 8-3 Chicago Bears. When you compare this Bears team to last year's Bear team, it is night and day. The offense wasn't good last season. Caleb Williams wasn't good last season, and the defense had a lot of issues. Well, the defense still has a lot of issues this season, but the offense is in a completely different place. Caleb Williams is playing really good, and they've been beating teams for the last couple weeks, looking really good on the offensive side. They're up against the 8-3 Philadelphia Eagles, coming off a loss this past weekend versus the Dallas Cowboys. But they are the defending Super Bowl champs. They have a complete roster. They have the offensive roster. They have the defensive roster. Yes, they have some issues accurately pushing the ball down the field, but overall, there's weapons all over the place for this Eagles team. They have a 68.6% chance to win. The Bears 31.2. Philly 7-point favorites. 44.5 over-under with Chicago. Caleb Williams 13 touchdowns, 4 picks. Swift, Odunze, Moore. When this team is healthy, really good offensive side. And on the other side, Saquon Barkley ran for 2,000 last year. He has over 700 this year, not having the same season he had last year. But if they ever can develop that ground game, get it back to what it was last season, watch out for this team. Smith, Brown, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, he's not been accurate this season, but he's keeping the turnovers down. And we all know it's what he can do with his legs, extending plays. That's the game changer. Looking at the team stats, Bears 26.3 points a game, throwing for 227, running for 142, giving up 26.5 points a game. Some people said last week, the Bears have a really good defense. They're giving up 26.5. That's bottom 10 in the NFL. It's not good. Yes, they have a couple good games, but overall, they don't have a good defense, but the offense makes up for it. Philly, 23.2 points a game, throwing for 193, running for 111, giving up 20.5 points per game. I got to ride the champs here. Give me the Eagles winning this one. Lower scoring game, 23-14. And moving on to our regular Sunday game, Sunday, November 30th, 1 p.m. on Fox, the 4-7 Atlanta Falcons. They lost Michael Penix Jr., but Kirk Cousins stepped in. I said last week, Kirk Cousins, as long as it's not a nighttime game, he's usually historically been a really good quarterback. The moment the sun goes down, though, the guy stinks, but this is a 1 p.m. game again. The sun's going to be out, so you're going to get prime time Kirk Cousins. They'll be on the road versus the 2-9 New York Jets, and the Jets, let's call it like it is. The Jets do stink. The Jets can't score. They can't stop anyone. New York right here, 41.4% chance. Falcons 58.3%. But it's not like the Falcons are a great team either. Falcons are 2.5-point favorites on the road. The over-under is 39.5. Bijan Robinson, he was the key last week. He's going to be the key again this week. If you can feed this guy the ball, if he can get first downs, he can run, he can catch it out the backfield. On the other side, the Jets. They have Breece Hall. Breece Hall is the machine guy. He's the engine for this team. And Garrett Wilson, he's been out for a while. Justin Fields just cannot in any way whatsoever throw the ball accurately this season. Falcons 19.9 points a game, throwing for 210, running for 120, giving up 22.6 points a game. They're not a bad team though. The Jets 19.9 a game, throwing for 146, running for 136. They can run the ball, but 146 yards passing, that's really bad. Giving up 26.5. They can't get first downs. Their defense is on the field the entire game. Give me the Falcons on the road, 28-20. Also on Fox at 1 p.m., the 9-2 Los Angeles Rams. I said in my video last week, the Rams, in my personal opinion, are probably the best team in the NFL. They have the veteran quarterback. They have the running back. They have the wide receiver core. They have the defense. They have the defensive front seven. They can get after it, and they can bring all that talent with them on the road. They're going up against the 6-5 Carolina Panthers. Do not underestimate the Panthers. Yes, it seems kind of weird, but the Panthers are one game over 500, had a really good second half last year. They picked up exactly where they left off last season. Bryce Young, if you give him a consistent ground game, he can actually work the play action pretty good. Carolina at home, 29.5% chance to win. The Rams, 70.3. LA, 9.5 point favorites. That's a pretty big NFL spread. 45.5 over under Stafford. He's had better statistical seasons touchdown-wise, but overall, this is his most efficient season of his career. He has like 30 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions right now, closing in on 3,000 yards. He has Williams. He has Nakua. He has the veterans in that wide receiver core too, plus the young guys. A little mix of everything on the other side. You have Bryce Young, 14 touchdowns, 7 picks, but it all comes down to Daddle, 900 yards on the ground. McMillan, rookie wide receiver, looking really good so far this season. The Rams, 27.2 points a game, throwing for 247, running for 114, but it's the defense that sets them apart, only giving up 17.2 points per game. Top 3 defense in the NFL. Really can't beat that. Carolina, 18.8 points a game, throwing for 187, running for 127, giving up 22.6 points a game, which is about 13 points better than where they were at this point last season. That's how much this team has improved, but I got to go with the Rams on the road. Give me LA, 27-17. CBS at 1 p.m., the 2-9 New Orleans Saints here. The Saints, they've kind of had a little bit of quarterback carousal going on. They don't have bad weapons overall, but they need a quarterback who can consistently get the ball to the playmakers. They're on the road versus the 4-7 Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, they got rid of Greer. All of a sudden, they're riding a little bit of a winning streak right now. Do you want that as a Fins fan? Do you want them to lose some games and get a better draft pick? I don't really know where you fall in that mix, but as of right now, they're actually playing pretty decent football. Dolphins, 61.4% chance to win. The Saints on the road, 38.3. Miami, 5.5 point favorites, 42.5 over under. Kamara questionable this game. Olave, Cooks. They don't have bad wide receiver weapons in that defense, though. They're on the field practically the entire game. What's really helped the Dolphins out, Tua is still Tua. Tua doesn't have a strong arm, 17 touchdowns, 13 picks, lot of turnovers. Just don't run the ball. Don't try to force things. But it's been Achin at the running back position, closing in on 1,000 yards on the ground. He's really come on strong in the last couple months, in the top 5 total rushing for the NFL. And you know what Waddle can do. Looking at the overall team stats, Saints 15 points a game, one of the worst. Throwing for 205, running for 92, giving up 24.9 points a game. The Dolphins 20.5 points a game, throwing for 188, running for 113, giving up 24.5. McDaniel, he has things going in the right direction as of right now, but we know that he's still on the hot seat. But I think this is another game. They can steal this game. They can keep that momentum going, keep the winning streak alive, and give me the Dolphins winning this one. And they extend the winning streak to 3. They win 28-17. Fox at 1 p.m., the 3-8 Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, a little bit of a quarterback carousal also. Obviously, they do not want to put Kyler Murray back out there. They might be shopping him. They're on the road versus the 6-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The big question I have about the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, with all of the injuries they've had, they still had a pretty decent season. White's been banged up, Irving, Egbuka, Evans, Godwin. As long as you give Baker Mayfield a warm body, he can push the ball down the field. But Baker Mayfield, he was hurt this past game. That is massive, massive news. As of right now, we'll see what happens with the injury, but he probably won't be playing this game. He was spotted on the sideline, his arm in a sling. I hate to see it. He's been one of those guys vertically pushing the ball down the field. Fun story to watch. They haven't said he's not playing next week, but I'm just, as me making this video, I'm going to guess he's probably not playing. Bucs, 65.4% chance to win. Cardinals, 34.3%. The Buccaneers, 6-point favorites, 49.5 over-under. Jacoby Brissett's actually not having a bad season so far. Egbuka closing in on 800 yards as a rookie. Great pickup, first-round pick. But with the unknowns with Baker Mayfield, I want to go the Bucs. But like I said, I hate the unknowns. Give me the Cardinals pulling off the win here, 24-20. 1 p.m. on Fox, the 7-4 Jacksonville Jaguars on the road versus the 1-10 Tennessee Titans. But the Titans actually showed some promise this past weekend. Cam Ward was pushing the ball down the field. Restrepo probably should have been starting since week 1. They actually were able to get some first downs. Big news for the Titans. Tennessee, 30.5% chance to win. The Jags, 69.3. Jacksonville, 7-point favorites, 41.5 over-under. Trevor Lawrence, so many turnovers. He has to be more decisive. He has to be more choosy with when he pushes the ball down the field. But this is the game they should be able to win on the road. Travis Etienne's having a really good season. Brian Thomas Jr., he's been out for a while, but with Jacoby Myers coming in, Strange and company, they still have the weapons to win this one, and they do create a lot of turnovers. Cam Ward, he needs help from that wide receiver core. Hold on to the ball, and the offensive line has to give him some time. Looking at team stats here, Jags 24.3 points a game, throwing for 203, running for 128, giving up 22.7 points a game, but it's the rush defense, only giving up 83.8 on the ground, which is going to make it really tough for Tennessee because Tennessee can't run the ball anyways. They're only averaging 15.2, throwing for 170, only running for 77.5, which is probably going to be even lower this game versus this Jacksonville front seven, and they're giving up 27.5 points per game. I'd love to see Tennessee get another win here. They showed fight this past weekend. Maybe that will get them an upset win, but I got to go Jacksonville here, 24-17. CBS at 1 p.m., the 7-4 San Francisco 49ers. We talked about the Buccaneers having a lot of injuries. Well, so is San Francisco. They've been down Jones, Purdy, Kittle, Jennings, and yet still they're 3 games above 500, showing a lot of fight. The defense is starting to play. Christian McCaffrey, give this guy some credit. 800 yards rushing, 800 receiving, might get 1,000 this season. He's always banged up. He's been the most consistent, reliable player. Has yet to get hurt this season. You gotta love it. You gotta use it, man. He's scoring a buttload of touchdowns right now. 11 total touchdowns. They're on the road versus the 3-8 Cleveland Browns. How about Shedeur Sanders? The big spotlight on him. Actually didn't play too bad of a game this past weekend. Cleveland 22.6 points a game. 49ers 77.2. San Francisco 6-point favorites. 41.5 over under. Can that Shedeur Sanders showing at the quarterback position, can that create some type of stability there? Cleveland hasn't had a stable quarterback, and it seems like decades at this point. That would be massive for Browns fans. But we know the 49ers, good overall team, well-coached team. They can bring that with them on the road. Looking at team stats, San Francisco 23.7 points a game, throwing for 255. I want to see them get those rush yards. I'll concentrate on the ground and pound just a little more. Let that open up the play action. They're only running for 95, giving up 22.9 points a game. The Browns, 16.9 points a game, throwing for 164, running for 95, 22.2 points a game. They have one of the best defensive rosters in the NFL. Obviously, Myles Garrett, he's having a historic season, and it's a dang shame because that defense is on the field the entire game. They need help from that offense. Get them off the field, get some first downs, let them catch their breath. But I got to go with the 49ers here on the road. They're the more complete roster. They win 23-16. CBS, 1 p.m., the 6-5 Houston Texans. How about that win this past week? Give this team some props. They've clawed their way back to 500. Now they're 1 game over 500, the number 1 statistical defense in the NFL. If that offense ever wakes up, watch out for this team. They're on the road versus the 8-3 Indianapolis Colts, one of the surprise teams this season. Daniel Jones looks like Andrew Luck out there throwing the ball up and down the field. Jonathan Taylor leading the NFL, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. He has well over 15 rushing touchdowns, racking up yards. Might get to 1,800 rushing yards this season. Really good year for them. But we know the Texans, with that defensive front seven, they're going to try to take Jonathan Taylor away, force Daniel Jones in the 3rd and long situations, but obviously that's easier said than done right now. Colts would also like to get back in the win column. 63.9% chance to win. The Texans a 35.8. Colts are 4-point favorites, 45.5 over under. The big news though, Davis Mills 3-0 undefeated as the Texan starter. What happens with Stroud? What's the situation there? As of right now, Stroud's going to be the starter once he gets back. Looking at these team stats, Texans 22.1 points a game, throwing for 216, running for 108, giving up 16.5 points a game. A really good secondary, a really good defensive line, great front seven. They get after it. And the offense, if they can just be consistent, just be reliable, give the same performance in and week out, that defense creates havoc in the backfield. Can they get to Daniel Jones? He's not a dual threat quarterback, but he's definitely a mobile quarterback. He will take off. He can run for 100 yards any game. You got to keep your eye on him. Even third and long situations, he can take off. And they have a top 2 offense in the NFL. 31 points a game, throwing for 245, running for 139, only giving up 20.8 points a game. They're also a very well-balanced team as well. Coming off that loss, they're going to be hungry here to get back in the win column. Colts win this one 24-20. 4:05 p.m. on CBS, you're going to have the Minnesota Vikings 4-7 record. J.J. McCarthy, you got to keep the turnovers down. I was kind of curious when they drafted him last year. I didn't really understand it. So far, he hasn't shown much, but this is technically his first season starting because he was injured all of last year. They're on the road versus the 8-3 Seattle Seahawks. Seattle, one of the most balanced teams in the NFL. They can pass it, they can run it. They're deep at the running back position. Really good defense. And Seattle, very difficult place for the road team to play. Seahawks 69% chance to win. Vikings 30.7. Seattle's 8.5 point favorites. 42.5 over/under. J.J. McCarthy, Mason, Justin Jefferson, some say the best wide receiver in the NFL. You just have to get him the ball in space. On the other side, Seattle, Sam Darnold closing in on 3,000 yards. Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, Jackson Smith-Njigba, 1,300 yards receiving, leading the NFL. As of right now, this season, he is the best wide receiver in the NFL statistically this season. Vikings 20.4 points a game, throwing for 180, running for 103, giving up 23.2 points a game. But that defense, like so many teams, they just need that offense to get some first down. Seattle 29.5 points a game, top 4 offense, throwing for 249, running for 116, only giving up 19.7 points a game, only 90.8 on the ground. If the Vikings can't run the ball, it's going to make it that much more difficult for J.J. McCarthy. Give me Seattle, the complete team, potentially the Super Bowl contender type of team. They win this one 26-17. 4:25 p.m. on CBS, the 2-9 Las Vegas Raiders. Pete Carroll's first season here, things haven't quite panned out. Chip Kelly is out as the offense coordinator. Causes some turmoil there because Geno Smith, he's having a really bad season. He's a Jekyll and Hyde guy. 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Either one of those versions of him could show up at any moment. They're on the road versus the 7-4 LA Chargers. Fully rested here. Harbaugh's team, Justin Herbert, pushing the ball down the field. This is a vertical pass-happy team, but so far, the product's working. LA, 72.5% chance to win. Las Vegas, 27.3%. The Chargers are 9.5 point favorites. That's a massive NFL spread. 41.5 over/under. Geno Smith, you got to trust the playmakers. Genty, Tucker, Bowers. But the big issue is he has to get them the ball. Don't throw an interception. Give the ball to the playmakers. Let's be smart. Slow the game down just a little bit. Let the play action work. And on the other side, the Chargers, Justin Herbert closing in on 3,000 yards. McConkey, again, back-to-back seasons, having another great year. Team stats, Raiders 15 points a game, bottom 3. Throwing for 190, running for 80 yards per game. That's not going to help out Geno Smith, giving out 25.2. Chargers 22.4. Throwing for 232, running for 116, giving up 21.6. To me, the Chargers here fully rested. The Raiders reeling, especially at the offense coordinator position, with some changes there. That's not going to help them down the stretch this season. LA wins this one 30-18. 4:25 p.m. on CBS, the 7-4 Buffalo Bills. The Bills are starting to reel. Yes, they're still 3 games over 500. But the last couple weeks, their performance has not been good in any way whatsoever. The offense has been very inconsistent. The defense has been letting them down. But I've been saying for a couple seasons now, Josh Allen needs a true number 1 wide receiver. He has Cook. Cook is really good at the running back position. But when you look at this wide receiver core, Shakur, they're just a healthy, consistent wide receiver core, but there's no true primary threat that can really stretch the field here. They'll be going up against the 6-5 Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, they're coming off a loss, but Rodgers didn't play that game. Might be back this week. He's the veteran presence there. The Steelers, 43.6% chance to win, but Pittsburgh, very difficult for the road team. Buffalo, 56.1. Both these teams need a win. They need to get things back on track, get back in the win column. Buffalo's 4-point favorites, 47.5 over/under. But when you have Josh Allen can do a little bit of everything. He can throw it, he can run it. He's been smart when he pushed the ball down the field. He's the reigning MVP award winner. Could potentially win back-to-back. But if he wants to do that, he's going to have to turn the season around very quickly. And for Pittsburgh, if Rodgers come back, he's the veteran presence in Pittsburgh at home. But I need that Tomlin defense to get back to being a Tomlin defense because it definitely hasn't been that way this season. Buffalo overall has a good offense, 28.3 points a game, throwing for 235, running for 147. Actually, one of the most balanced offenses because it's not just Cook running. You also have to account for Josh Allen, and they're giving up 22.9. Really good secondary, only giving up 168 through the air. Very hard to push the ball down the field on them. Steelers, 24.9 points a game, throwing for 195, running for 97, giving up 23.9. You can crawl me crazy here. Both these teams need this win. I'm going to lean upset. Give me the Steelers winning this one 24-20. NBC at 8:20 p.m. The 9-2 Denver Broncos. How about the Denver Broncos this season? Looking really good. Bo Nix last year started out really slow, turned things around the midway point. He basically did that again this season. Sean Payton, veteran guy, calling plays. Bo Nix is looking really good. Had a really good game this past weekend. They're going up against the 3-8 Washington Commanders. The big question about the Commanders is Jaden Daniels going to even be on the field? And if he is, what's his health status? Is he 90%, 85%? The difference could completely change the outcome of this game. When he's fully healthy doing his thing, one of the most electrifying players to watch. But if he's not healthy, this offense pretty much started out because they don't have a good defense to rely on. Washington, 41.2% chance to win. Denver, 58.4%. The Broncos are 6.5-point favorites. 43.5 over-under. Bo Nix, 18 touchdowns, 8 picks. And J.K. Dobbins, he's out right now. But overall, this team is having no issues running the ball, and they have that defense that they can rely on game in, game out. Top 5 defense last year. They have a top 5 defense again this season, and they can bring that on the road with them. Washington, so many injuries concerns so far this season for the Commanders. If it's not Daniels, it's going to be Marcus Mariota versus this really good Denver Broncos defense. Denver, 23.4 points a game, throwing for 213, running for 122, giving up 17.5 points a game, but only 88 on the ground. Really good front seven. They can chase down Daniels, especially if he's not 100%, if he even plays this week. Commanders, 21.5 points a game, throwing for 192, running for 139, giving up 26.9 with the unknowns with Washington. I can't in good conscience pick them. Give me Broncos on the road, 28-20. And we made it to our final game of Week 13, 8:15 p.m. ESPN, our Monday night game, December 1st. The 2-10 New York Giants. Daboll's been fired. Pretty much this entire starting roster is out for the year. Jackson Dart's gone. Scattaboo, Malik Neighbors, Robinson having a really good season, but it's going to come down to the shoulders of Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is what Jameis Winston is. He's a straight-up gunslinger. He can have 3-4 touchdowns. He can have 2-3 picks. Anywhere in between. When he is on, he will make a secondary pay. When he is off, they will have a field day versus him. They're on the road versus the 10-2 New England Patriots. Whoever had the Patriots sitting at 10-2 right now, leading the NFL in wins. Give yourself a pat on the back. This team is having a really good season. Drake May, a lot of offseason hype. He's lived up to it, and he's exceeded it so far. Right now, 20 touchdowns, 5 picks, 3,000 yards passing. This is a Northeast game. It's going to be a shootout to a fun game. Patriots, 59.2% chance to win. The Giants, 40.5% chance. New England, 7.5-point favorites, 47.5 over-under. But the Giants, who do the Giants turn to right now? Winston's going to have to make magic, especially against a very good Patriots defense. Drake May, Henderson, they have the veteran Diggs. They have an offense that can move the ball. And Giants, they honestly don't have anything going for them right now. New York, 22 points a game, throwing for 224, running for 125, 27.8 points a game. The Giants fans probably don't want to win any games. They don't care if it's versus the Patriots. They want a really good draft pick because they have a lot of healthy starters coming back next season. Dart, Scattaboo, Neighbors, Robinson. If they can add another weapon in there, this is a pretty scary team. Patriots, 26.5 points a game, throwing for 248, running for 112, game of 18.8 points a game, only 87.7 on the ground. It seems a given the Patriots win this one, but sometimes it feels like when that's the case, you might be getting set up for the upset. Give me New England win this one, 33-17.
So that's all of our Week 13 NFL games. We broke down every single matchup. We looked at the coaching, the rosters. We predicted the outcome, the winners, losers, final scores. And, of course, we looked at those best bets. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said before, drop a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win these games? What's your favorite matchup coming up this weekend? And who do you think is going to win it? Leave it in the comment section. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment below. And as always, guys, we look forward to these games. And thanks for watching.